Good morning. It is my honor to welcome our fans, student athletes, alumni, and the entire Longhorn community as we start an exciting new chapter for the Texas Longhorns men's basketball team. And we couldn't be more excited to be starting that new chapter with one of our own, Chris Beard, leading the charge. Coach Beard's strong track record, along with his experience and passion for both the game and our university, is exactly what we need to help us compete at the highest levels in college basketball and make our program one of the elite programs in the country. At the University of Texas, we aspire to be excellent in all that we do. That's what it means to be a Longhorn. So when we had an opportunity to bring in a new men's basketball coach, we went for the best. And I'm proud to say that is exactly who we got in Coach Beard. Coach, we look forward to what all you will accomplish and the excitement you will bring to this program for years to come. Coach Beard, welcome back to 40 Acres. Now, President Hartzell.
Thank you, Chairman Altife, for being part of today's events and for your constant support as we went after a program-changing hire for our men's basketball program. The Chairman, our Athletic Director, Chris Del Conte, and I have done a couple of these now, and I'm happy to say we've made a good team and have had what I believe to be a couple of huge wins. That said, I'm expecting we won't have to do this together for those two sports for many, many years to come. That also brings me to Chris Del Conte. I want to say thanks to CDC for his leadership of this process. There's nobody I'd rather have out finding talent, conveying the opportunity that we have at UT, and convincing that person to come here than Chris Del Conte. Great job, Chris. Thank you. Since I became president in September, one of my primary goals has been putting together a leadership team that can help our entire campus strive for greater levels of excellence. As Chairman Altife said, we want to be the very best in all that we do, and our athletics program is no different. It's therefore with great excitement that I welcome Chris Beard as UT's new head coach for men's basketball. I had the opportunity to spend some time with Coach Beard yesterday after he arrived in Austin. Within minutes of meeting him face to face, I was struck by his drive and sense of commitment to what lies ahead, in spite of a highly emotional day, and his excitement about rejoining the Longhorn family. I too know what it's like to return home to a place that you love, to that feeling you have when you know you're where you're supposed to be. And right here is that place, and right now is that time, Coach Beard, for you to lead our program to new heights. Your experience, your track record, and your determination are just the right mix of attributes our university needs as we look to establish our men's basketball program among the very best in the country. I'm confident that under your leadership, we will experience great success, win some titles, and produce great young men who will go on to do fantastic things. Welcome, Coach Beard, and hook 'em. With that, I'll turn it over to Chris Del Conte.
Hi, everybody. This is the strangest thing, having press conferences on Zoom, right? Because we cannot enjoy the pomp and circumstance of welcoming the greatest basketball coach in America home, in America. When we set out to find a basketball coach, I sat down with President Hartzell and Chairman Altife. We had one man in mind. One man in mind. Do you think we can get CB to come home? I said, I don't know, but we'll try. Kevin Altife says, we're not trying. We'll get her done. Yes, sir. Talk to President Hartzell. What do you think? We're on a mission from God. Take a little movie, Trading, remember that from John Belushi, On a Mission from God? I flew to Plainview, Texas yesterday morning at 5 o'clock. Sat in a Comfort Inn. Here comes Coach, rolled in. He says, really? I go, really? Comfort Inn's all you got, it's all we have. We went over to McDonald's, got ourselves a chicken egg sandwich, coffee, rolled in, spent 3.5 hours talking about the University of Texas, talking about what it meant to be a Longhorn, his vision of winning national championships at the University of Texas, the great tradition, history by the players that are here. This is your program. He wanted to come back and be with you all. It was the most amazing 3 hours of conversation. I sat there and was like, okay, we hammered out a deal. He gets in the car, goes, I'll see you later. I'll be back in a little while. He came back an emotional wreck. I sat there and I go, there's a man I want to touch my whole life to. I want to attach to a guy like this. He was so sad about what was happening at Texas Tech. The players he was leaving behind, the players. I knew what we were getting in a human being, someone that cares deeply about people, someone that cares deeply about people. He's an incredible basketball coach. He's a better person. And on that flight on the way back here, I sat there and I just watched the emotion of he and his staff, hugging, crying, talking. His fiancee, Randy, they're just talking about what it meant and what they built there. But the future was happening at the University of Texas. I was overwhelmed by emotion. I sat there for about 20 minutes in a seat by myself just going, we got it right. We got it right. Y'all, I can't thank you enough for being here today. Media, you know who we have in Chris Beard. We got the very best. Sir, I can't thank you and your family for coming here. Welcome home, the University of Texas. Prodigal son returns. I'd like to introduce you to your head basketball coach, Christopher Beard. Come on up here, sir. You know, hold on a minute. You're supposed to give you a jersey. You know how that works?
Yeah.
It's a schmedium, so I don't think you want to wear that.
Thanks, brother.
All right, brother. You'll be great.
First, I'd like to thank Chairman Eltife, Director of Athletics Chris Del Conte, and President Hartzell. I appreciate everybody's kind words this morning. I'm humbled and honored, excited more than anything to be the head basketball coach at the University of Texas. Won't take this lightly, won't let anybody down here. Just excited of the journey that lies ahead for all of us. CDC mentioned our meeting later today, or later here in a few minutes. I'm going to tell you why Texas and how we're going to get to a Monday night game sooner than later. You know, the expectations and the opportunity right off the bat when he showed me a picture of Coach Reese and the 15 national championships. I appreciate Coach Reese being here today. That's exactly the opportunity that I was looking for. Expectations don't scare me. It's why I'm here. And I'm so proud to be back, and I want to thank everybody that made that possible. Also want to thank my family. Fiance Randy is here today. I have 3 daughters, Avery, Ella, and Margot. It's the only time I'll get choked up a little bit talking about the family. But Ella's here today. Avery's in New York, Margot's in Abilene, and they're with me today in Seoul, but I appreciate Ella and Randy being here today. Also want to thank my mom and dad, same 2 people that years and years ago dropped me off at the University of Texas. It's an emotional day. I wish my mom and dad could be here, but obviously with the COVID-19, there's challenges for all of us, but I want to recognize my parents today. Also want to recognize a key member of my family, Brett Just, and everything that he did to make this possible. You know, Brett is family. If you guys allow me just 1 second, CDC mentioned my connection and proud experience at Texas Tech, and I want to make sure that I thank Chancellor Mitchell, President Skuvanek, Director of Athletics Kirby Hocutt, Tony Hernandez, Dusty Womble. I could talk all day about my time at Texas Tech. Just simply stated, it was the most difficult decision in my life to leave a place where we had an amazing 5-year run from where we started all the way to an overtime game on the final Monday night. To me, those relationships are real, and I'll also always be appreciative and grateful for my time in Lubbock, Texas. Above all, I want to thank all the players at Texas Tech. College basketball is about players, period. Without players, there's no college basketball, there's no coaches. Without students, there's no universities like the great University of Texas. So I want to thank all my players at Texas Tech for their buy-in and everything that we accomplished together, as well as our players along the way, certainly at Little Rock and Angelo State, McMurray in South Carolina, Fort Scott, Seminole, all the places along the way. Guys, I appreciate it. I wish we could all be together today, our basketball family. But again, the COVID-19, a lot of challenges for all of us. Lastly, with Texas Tech, I'm proud to be associated with Coach Knight and Pat Knight. I wouldn't be standing here today with this opportunity if I wouldn't have had really a break in my lifetime having a chance to be with Coach Bob Knight and Pat. You guys know how I feel about you. Thank you, Coach. Let's just get to it, man. Let's start having some fun here. University of Texas. I've gotten a lot of calls in the last couple of days. It still happened really fast. The thing that kept coming up over and over is, Texas. Man, those expectations, those standards, the urgency of what's going on there, the timeliness. Got to get it done quickly. Do you understand? Let me be really clear here. I understand the standards of the University of Texas. I understand where our men's basketball program is going to be and needs to be and deserves to be. Those expectations and standards don't scare me. Don't get it twisted. It's the reason that I'm here today, is the expectations and the standards and where this program needs to be and will be sooner than later. This program is a Monday night program, and we got some work to do to get there, but I'm not afraid to talk about it from day one. That's the game that we're trying to get to, and everything that we do, beginning last night and today when we get done with this press conference, will be about restoring us and getting us to the level where we can compete for national championships. How are we going to get it done? Simply, two things we got to do. We got to unite the Texas basketball family. When Texas basketball is united, it is powerful. It is the best. It is a beast. It can't be stopped. We've got to embrace the past players, past coaches. We've got to get everybody back under the same umbrella, all striving for the same things. In that, embracing the past, I want to recognize, the history of Texas basketball. Certainly in my lifetime, beginning with Coach Black. I know Coach Black has supported this program like no other. Row 5, I believe, is where he sits. When I was with Coach Penders, we enjoyed that. When I was coaching against Texas, I didn't enjoy Coach Black sitting on row 5. But certainly Coach Black, his family, all the players from that generation, you're wanted, you're needed. Please come back to Austin. Coach Lemons was a coaching hero of mine. A fascinating coach, known for his wit and humor and the kind of person he was, but a big-time basketball coach. I've studied his teams. Anybody that played for Coach Lemons, his family. I know a coach is in heaven watching this today. We want everybody back at Texas. Then certainly it was Coach Wetlick. I have a relationship with Coach Wetlick because of my relationship with Coach Knight, the foundation that he laid here at Texas and all the players. Certainly got an amazing phone call last night from Mike Wacker. Heard from so many Texas players the last couple of days and hours. Anybody in the Coach Wetlick time, we need you back. Then Coach Penders, I'm proud to be Coach Penders. I was a 5-year redshirt point guard for Coach Penders. I was open all the time, but BJ and Terrence Rencher and those guys wouldn't throw me the ball except for the summertime when we were in the rec center. I am proud of my start. I cut my teeth in coaching under Vic Trilley and Eddie Orn and Coach Penders. Coach P, I love you. Can't wait to get you back to Austin. I know you're in Miami today. All my teammates, all the guys that I was here with at Texas, can't wait to get all you guys back together. We're going to get everybody under the same umbrella. The power of this program is undeniable when we do that. I had a personal relationship with Coach Barnes. Respect him so much. Competed against him when I was an assistant. Coach Barnes' teams were exactly the way we're going to win at Texas. Grit, toughness, just hard work, and then obviously talented players. Best players in the NBA is what we need, but we want to keep that edge and that chip, to me, what Texas is. Certainly after Coach Barnes, I want to recognize my friend Shaka. I had a chance to talk to Shaka this morning. When I think of Shaka Smart, I think of class. I have a friendship with Shaka, enjoyed competing against him, and wish him the best of luck at his new opportunity at Marquette, and thank him for the foundation and the positive things that we inherit today. I wanted to recognize Shaka and all the players that played for Shaka. When I talk to those coaches, I'm really talking to the players through the coaches. Again, plan one is to unite Texas basketball family, get everybody back on the same page. When we do this, we all know that this power is second to none. As we unite this, the second thing is, and I've already mentioned it, college basketball is about one thing, it's the players. Players are number 1, players are number 2, players are number 3, and I could keep going. This thing is all about players. And so as we ignite the fan base, the former players, everybody here to make this engine and machine the most powerful in college basketball again, it's all about the players as we ignite that. I want to mention this right off the bat too. I need your help. I've never been a guy that's afraid to ask for help. I don't think I have all the answers. I have no pride when it comes to asking for people help, and I think it's very important that this very first conversation that we're having, Longhorn basketball family, we've got to create a home court advantage. We've got to make the Frank Irwin Center this year the toughest place to play in college basketball, and I am going to work tirelessly in my role to make that happen. But I'm going to need your help. We're going to need student attendance to increase and improve, and I look forward to the challenge and the opportunity of that, and I'm very confident that we will be able to get that done. But a home court advantage is so important, and it's worth mentioning today as we get started. Speaking of needing help, I've always been a guy that really enjoys my relationships with other coaches. I appreciate several of the Texas head coaches being here today. Had a chance to spend some time with Coach Sark yesterday. I appreciate him and his wife coming by. Those of you that know me know that I'm a huge college football guy. I appreciated Coach Sark reaching out, and I look forward to being right there hand in hand with Texas football. Texas football will have no bigger supporter or fan than me, my family, and our staff. I think there's strength when the sports win at a high level together, and we will do our part in men's basketball, and we will support everyone else on this campus. Who are we? This is easy to talk about. We're disciplined. We believe in toughness, physically and mental. We have a confidence about us where we respect everyone and we don't have entitlement, but we fear no one either. No one is better than us. We're the University of Texas. We're going to play the game the right way. We're going to embrace the educational piece of being a student athlete, this university. We know the men's basketball program is one small part of the university. We're going to play our role. We're going to be an unselfish team. We're going to value the things that are right. We're going to tell the truth. We're going to represent what's on the front of our jersey, Texas, more than what's on the back of our jersey, individual people. I could talk all day about basketball, and I know there'll be a time to do that. But simply stated, with basketball, the common thing for a coach, what's your philosophy, what's your style of play? I'll be really clear here. Our style of play and our philosophy is one thing, winning. And we're going to do what it takes to win. We're going to play the right way. But the basketball piece is going to be so fun as we build this, again, with two things in mind: uniting the Texas basketball family, getting everybody back together, and then two, understanding every day from the time I get up early in the morning till the time I go to bed early in the morning, it's all about the players, 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 players. With that, before I open this up for any questions, I wanted to tell you something that's kind of been with me my whole coaching career that's really important. And I wrote it down to make sure that I understand. But I saw this at a young age when I was cutting my teeth in coaching. The University of Texas winning tradition and pride will not be entrusted to the timid or weak. I again tell you how proud and excited I am. I promise you I'm a lot of things, but timid and weak are not two of those things. I understand the standards and expectations of this program. I'm not running from it. I'm not scared of it. It is the reason I'm here. We are going to win at the highest level. We're going to win sooner than later. I look forward to everybody in this room and everybody on the Zoom today joining us on a Monday night in the near future when we're playing in the last game of the college basketball season. Hook 'em.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate that. We'll go ahead and go to questions now. Please keep it to one question each. We have a bunch of them to go through, so we'll start with Brian Davis.
Hey, Chris, congratulations.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah. From my reading of the tea leaves, it does not appear that this had anything to do about money. Tech and Texas could basically pay the same thing when it came down to it. So what in your mind makes Texas a better job than Texas Tech right now?
First of all, Brian, sorry I couldn't respond to the 1,600 text messages. I think we all know kind of how this deal works, but I have a lot of respect for you. It's good to see you again. Mention the same thing to other media members. Appreciate you guys' patience in this process. I look forward to working with all of you. You were correct. I don't coach for money. I coach to win. I want to win championships. I want our players to win. To me, that's graduation. That's winning in life. I'm all about one thing, winning. I did wait to make that comment till after I signed the contract, so I did get a little bit of money on this. But no, I'm fortunate and blessed. I don't coach for money. I coach to win. You know, why Texas? First, I'll say this again. It was one of the most difficult decisions of my life for what we built at Texas Tech. I have nothing but respect and love for that place. But to me, I live my life with a philosophy of no regrets. And I just, to have a chance to coach at the University of Texas, where this challenge and opportunity and the power of this institution and fan base and history and tradition, when these things combine with the hunger that I have and our staff will have and the players that we have exhibit, when these things combine, special can happen. To me, special is Monday night.
Roger Wallace, go ahead.
Hey, Chris. The one thing that always comes up with you is the way your kids play, how hard they play. How do you get kids to play in a manner that maybe other teams can't match when it comes to that?
I appreciate that question. You know, for us, it starts in the recruiting process. We're going to recruit the best players in the world. Certainly, we're going to start right here in the state of Texas, my home state. We're going to branch out to the United States of America. We're going to recruit the best players in the world to be here. We're not messing around. That's why I'm here. In terms of our guys, so it starts in the recruiting process. You know, we don't try to, I don't think I have a magic wand. We don't recruit this very, very talented player that's not known for playing hard, but he has all the other attributes. We look for guys that understand this deal's all about competing and playing hard. Doesn't mean we can't shape some guys and help some guys understand a different level of energy and motor, but it starts with kind of our identity is we're going to play hard, and we're going to do it every possession of every game, no matter what the scoreboard says. How we get it done is, you know, I'm a relationship coach. I'm a relationship recruiter. I think you can get people and players to do things that maybe they don't even think they can do when you can coach them, and when you can coach them hard. And how do you coach guys hard? You got to have a relationship. And I think, you know, it sounds simple, but it takes a lot of work. Relationships start with trust, and there's a lot of trust in this room right now, but our relationships are young. I will earn the trust of this fan base. I will earn the trust of our players and our current roster. I will earn the trust of people that trust us with their college careers here. Once we have the trust, relationships are formed. Once relationships are formed, anything can happen, including playing harder than any team in college basketball.
Chuck Carlton, you're up.
Yeah, Chris, congratulations. I was curious, either at that meeting in Plainview, before or after, was there a moment, kind of a light bulb moment where you said, yeah, I made my decision, I'm going to Texas, and was there something that triggered that during that process, or did you know all along you were leaning that direction?
And Chuck, I don't know if there was like one moment. Definitely wasn't leaning any direction. I'm a guy, you know, I try to live where my feet are. And the most important job I've ever had is the job I have. The most important day I've ever had is today. The most important possession that we have, either offensively or defensively, is the possession that's going on right now. So this deal happened fast. When Shaka got his latest opportunity, I know there's a lot of speculation. But my feet were exactly where they were. They were at Texas Tech doing our work. When I first heard from CDC, and I want to get my days right, we talked one evening, and then I respected the timeline. You know, Chris has an urgency that I share, and I think the relationship that I have with CDC is going to be special. And I think one word you could put next to both of us is just urgency to get things done. And so the communication from the phone turned into an in-face meeting the next morning in Plainview, a place that I really like. I like Plainview. I didn't have a chance to show Chris around. Much more than McDonald's in Plainview, I promise you. Wayland Baptist, a lot of basketball tradition there. But no, once we got together, it just clicked. Again, it's the expectations, it's the accountability, it's the pressure. I love the word pressure. Pressure to me is a good word. I tell my daughters, live with pressure. It's a pleasure to have pressure. And I just felt it. Certainly there's a connection here. I went to school at Texas. I'm a proud graduate. Everything just kind of clicked. And I knew this was going to be the right decision. A difficult decision to tell people that I respect and love at Texas Tech. But this is life. And to me, life's about opportunities. And I intend to make the most of this one.
Dennis Della Pena, go ahead.
Coach, you sound very positive about winning quickly here, and there's no reason not to, considering your previous stop. But what is it about the Texas job that gives you such realistic-based hope that you can not only replicate it, but maybe even win that Monday night game in short order?
Well, it starts with our current players. There's a lot going on with college basketball right now with this deal called the portal. You might have heard of it. Look, every time we competed against Texas and Shaka's teams, I'd walk off that floor with respect for the talent level of the team. And you just kind of say to yourself as a coach, it's a common thing. I could coach those guys. We walked off the floor years ago against Michigan State. I'd like to coach guys like that. When you play Kansas, I'd like to coach a guy like that. And it's the same feeling with this past year's and this current Texas roster. There are NBA players on this roster. There's winners. There's guys with some heart. I'm from Texas. The best high school coaches in the country are right here. The best grassroots guys right here in Texas. So I have connections through some of those guys to some of the current Texas players. The players are my top priority. None of this is ideal right now with the COVID-19 and COVID. A lot of the players aren't in Austin right now, which I certainly understand, with classes being online and the season's ending recently. But I had a chance in a team setting to meet the players, reaching out to guys individually. And today it's my top priority. When we end here, take a couple pictures. I'm going to go get myself where I can do what's most important right now is the current players and current roster. So why my confidence that we can win immediately? It starts with the talent on this roster. And I'm going to do the best I can to keep those guys here if they want to be here and if they understand that we're trying to win a national championship now, not when the new arena's built, not down the line. Let's strive for it now. I don't know why you would ever work to try to do something in the future. Like I tell players, I don't know if you're a one and done. You don't know if you're a one and done, but I'm going to coach you every day like you're a one and done. And I want you to come in here and work like you're a one and done. And then you run your own race, and those things are in God's hands, and we'll see what happens. I feel the same way about here. This will not be a rebuild. This will not be a first year doesn't matter, put an asterisk on it. You can quote me on that. These will be my guys that are on the team. It won't be, well, when Coach gets his own guys in here. That's just not how we roll. We're going to win, and we're going to win the right way, and we're going to win with urgency.
Carlos, you're up.
Hey, Chris. Yesterday, Kirby had mentioned that there was a lifetime rolling contract that was offered pre all this and just trying to be a little proactive. I guess what led you to not decide to make that commitment at that time?
Carlos, we were still playing during the season. And when we're playing college basketball, my feet are where my feet are. I have people that I trust and love that have my back to go through those kind of processes, but I would never do that while the team was still playing. When the team ended, had some conversations, and the timeline, is what it is. So I have nothing but respect and appreciation for Kirby and that staff. I think somebody's true character comes out in different times, and I'll be really clear here, right here. I'm appreciative of Kirby Hocutt.
John Howe, you're up.
Coach, CDC welcomed you as the greatest coach in America. Do you feel like you are, and what makes you so different?
I feel like he's the greatest athletic director in America. If I felt any different, I shouldn't be here. We're doing this. I'm here. And, left a lot to come here, something that we built that was special. You guys know. I'm here. And one of the main reasons I'm here is CDC. So I think he's the best athletic director in the country. A lot of our relationship starts with trust, but I can't wait to get this thing rolling. The ADD is kicking in a little bit. I keep thinking I got to call about 6 recruits when I get out of here and talk to these current players. My mind is shifting to winning. I apologize. Can you repeat the question?
I was just, what makes you so different? What makes you the guy?
The University of Texas winning tradition and pride will not be entrusted to the timid or weak. I'm not timid, I'm not weak. I understand exactly what we're getting into here. I'm proud, I'm excited, I'm happy. I couldn't sleep last night. just because I can't wait to get started. I enjoy these press conferences after we win big games, and I get to sit next to one of our best players. It's one of my favorite things in coaching, sitting there next to a guy. When we won the Big 12 championship, I had my man Norrance right there next to me. I'll never forget that. So these press conferences are good. And no disrespect to everybody here, I'm having a pretty good time right now, but I can't wait to end this so I can get back to what I love, and that's recruiting, coaching, developing relationships, and winning. Why am I different? I don't think I'm better than anybody. I was raised with a sense of no entitlement and humility, but I also have a confidence that I've earned to have through the work that myself and players and staff have done over the years. We fear no one. We don't think we're better than anybody. We're going to have that University of Texas swagger and confidence, but we're going to have a humbleness to us that allows us to win at the highest level as well.
Kirk Bowles, go ahead.
Yeah, Chris, congratulations, first of all. I know you have a philosophy of like to get old and stay old as a basketball team with experience. How do you reconcile that as far as recruiting high school seniors and getting grad transfers? And are you open to any Texas Tech players transferring here?
It's good to see you, Kirk. Respect's off the charts. I think you know that. No doubt about it. College basketball has changed, in my opinion. Again, the portal, the new NCAA rules. So a lot of things are going on. I really think the game has changed. We'll kind of see where it is. We've always tried to stay ahead of the curve a little bit and anticipate things that are coming. And I'm confident that we're right where we need to be, understanding how the landscape of college basketball is changing. I do think there's a relationship between experience and winning. I think that we've executed that as well as anybody in college basketball. This league, the Big 12, I'm very familiar with, obviously. So we're going to try to stay old, but we're also going to embrace the talent the young players can do. I'm a proud coach of several recent one and dones. Some of the best players that played at the University of Texas were guys that made it to the NBA quickly. So I just appreciate all that. Mentioned last night some of the relationships. I hesitate on mentioning individual things because you don't want to leave anybody out, but you know, when TJ Ford shows up last night and drives into Houston, I'll get choked up on this one too because it just meant the world to me, having watched TJ as a high school player, an AAU player, an NBA player, competing against him when I was sitting next to Coach Knight, and for TJ to spend the time and resources to come here and support us, that was an emotional deal for me. And I want to thank TJ. I think he's here this morning as well. But I think, yes, we're going to stay old, but we're not afraid to put 5 TJ Fords out there. I don't care if they're 16 years old. You'll beat anybody in college basketball.
Chip Brown, go ahead.
Chris, welcome. Congratulations. I was talking to Tom Penders, and he had memories of you sitting up in the front of the bus, you know, on the team trips, listening to the coaches and sitting in some cubby hole next to his office, cutting up film. What memories stand out to you from your days as a student assistant at Texas and, as you said, your first taste of coaching?
Yeah, I appreciate you mentioning that. I'm proud of my journey. I'm proud of my path. I'm proud to be a graduate of the University of Texas. And Coach Penders and his staff, EO and Vic and those guys were great to me, treating me like I had no right to be treated. And what's really been special is the relationship that I've developed with Coach Penders since my time. Most recently in Lubbock, where he would come spend time and travel with our team some. When I think about Coach Penders, I think of a swagger second to none, a confidence, a guy that was built for a job like Texas. I've worked my whole life to get to a stage like this, and I think I have, or I don't think, I know that I have the same kind of Coach Penders ingredients in me that will allow us to be successful here. But I appreciate you asking about Coach Penders. All the text messages too, guys, people that I know, and all the people that are coming in from the Texas basketball family. I can't tell you how much all this means to me. Having a chance to communicate with Kevin Durant's family, not him directly yet, but the respect's off the charts. I can tell you our staff's going to be the best in college basketball, and we're going to have a special emphasis of getting some past Texas people on this staff to help connect the dots. Again, back to my twofold plan. unite the Texas basketball family and players. And again, just guys like, we mentioned TJ Ford and Kevin Durant, but I can't wait to get in there. Royal Ivy, a guy that I have a lot of respect for, just the toughness and the grit of players like Royale. This is how we're going to build this thing.
Cedric Golden, go ahead.
Hey, Chris, congratulations. You guys came in here a couple of years ago and won a close game, and afterwards I asked you, was this a culture win? And you said yes, it was. And how long does it take to establish your culture in a program?
Yeah, culture's kind of the buzzword now, right? I went to Texas, so I know how to spell culture, but what is culture? Culture's who you are. Culture's who you are when no one's looking. Culture's what you're all about in the good times and the bad times. Culture has to be real to me to be defined as a culture. Ours is all based on the things I mentioned early: unselfishness, toughness, discipline, talent. But above all, you have to have relationships to have a culture. And that's why I'll be forever grateful for all the teams that we had, most recently at Texas Tech, Little Rock before, because I do think that we have had, no disrespect to anyone else, I think we've had the best culture in college basketball, and I believe that. Somebody might have had one as strong, but nobody's had a stronger culture than we have in recent years. How these things exist are relationships. Once you have relationships, you can take a group of people places where maybe you couldn't go by yourselves. And that's how we won at Texas Tech, and that'll be a key way that we win here.
Dustin McComas, go ahead.
Hey, Chris, congratulations. You mentioned the portal and also culture as well. What allowed you to have so much success in terms of turning your roster over and being able to ingrain that culture right away and win right away? As you know, right now, there's a lot of roster turnover in college basketball. That's something that you're going to face here as well. But why are you guys so successful at getting a grad transfer or a 4-year player or a one-and-done type of player and melding all those guys together?
Yeah, I think specifically it's always kind of been in my comfort zone and what I'm used to with rosters turning over. Started my background in small college basketball and junior college basketball. I've had 2 professional experiences, one in South Carolina here in the States and one in Switzerland in Eurobasket. So and certainly at the highest level in the Big 12 in college basketball. But seeing, it's just what I've been used to. I'm used to teams changing from time to time. So when college basketball has changed, grad transfer rules a couple years ago, most recently the portal, in my opinion, the game is changing. It's never been out of my comfort zone. It's always been something that I'm experienced with. I'm a guy that wants to win. Again, I have a vision for the future, but I don't sit around thinking about day 2, year 3, year 4. I think about today. And I think, to win immediately, you have to have an urgency and you have to have an expectation. That's what we're trying to do, and I'm not afraid of that. I believe that successful people understand urgency and how to get things done, and that's one thing that we've always been able to get done. So as college basketball changes now with the portal, guys coming and leaving and stuff, we're ready for this. We're not sitting around thinking about, hey, what are we supposed to do? We already have a plan, and now it's time to execute the plan.
Time for a few last questions. Go ahead, Jeff Jones.
Coach, can you take me back to leaving that McDonald's in Plainview yesterday? Who was the first person you reached out to, and what was that conversation like?
Yeah, that was a tough drive because I had about 40 minutes to take a lot of things in. Number one, spend some time with myself. I got a family, but it's been me. It's been me a lot of this time. I was blessed enough to meet my fiance, Randy, who's my rock now and everything. Well, I better get this right, man. 4 years ago? Good. Then my daughters are my life and certainly my coaching mentor. So there's some people that I needed to call, but above all, spend some time with myself. Just kind of, coming to grasp this is what we're about to do and getting excited about it. Then first phone calls to answer your question specifically was to Randy. my 3 daughters, and my mom and dad. Thought about calling LaMarcus Aldridge real quick too and saying, hey man, you might not remember me. I've seen you play a lot, but can you help me get this thing started? But I thought I better call my mom and dad before I called, Terrence Rincher or LaMarcus Aldridge.
Got time for 2 last ones. Nick Moyle, go ahead.
Hey, Chris, congrats. I'm just curious over the last, 5 or 6 years, what your perception was of Texas from the outside looking in. And then just for you, what are the most important first steps as you try to mold this program in your image now?
Can you ask it one more time?
Yeah, just from the outside looking in, what was your perception of this Texas program over the last 5, 6 years? And then for you, what are your first steps toward, I guess, molding this Texas program in your image now?
Yeah, outside looking in, nothing but respect. Shaka is somebody that I have the ultimate respect for. Again, I mentioned that I actually talked to him earlier this morning. I think if you look up class in the dictionary, you're going to see a lot of people, and I think Shaka is going to be in that list. So, Shaka, thank you for the foundation that you laid here most recently, and best of luck at Marquette. So nothing but respect on the outside looking in, an appreciation and a respect for these players and how talented they are. This is a group that won the Big 12 championship in Kansas City just a few weeks ago. One of those games was on a questionable call from where I was sitting, but that's over. We got to move on from that. I asked Coleman after the game, we had a walk in the hallway after the game. College basketball is kind of cool. You have these random moments with people, like you pull up in a parking lot and there's Roy Williams from Kansas. You have a chance to talk, walking into a gym. And this special connection is we were coming off that game. Texas won that game, so we were a little, disappointed, but ran into Matt in the hallway and kind of walked down the hallway. And I say, Matt, you look back, hey, coach, respect. Absolutely, man. I say, if you don't mind me asking, we've been competing here against a couple of years. I'd like to think we got a little bit of a relationship. And he goes, yeah, coach, no question, man. Did you get fouled on that last one, man? Was it really a foul? So, of course, from his point of view, being a very tough, smart, intelligent player that's at the University of Texas, he said, absolutely, I got fouled. So I respected that answer. But I think the plan immediately is the players here. The most important thing are the guys on this roster right now, our roster. I look forward to reaching out to those guys and basically developing a relationship, listening a lot more than I talk, and just trying to figure out where everybody is right now. The COVID-19, the Zooms and all this stuff present challenges, but I've had a lot of challenges in my life, and I'm pretty good at being successful in challenges.
Last one, Stephen Wagner, go ahead.
Hey, Chris, congratulations again. One of the biggest things that you were really well known for at Texas Tech was having tournament success. And, you're coming to a place that hasn't won a tournament game in quite some time. And, this is a fan base that's really, really hungry to have tournament wins. What has been your biggest key to having success in the NCAA tournament, and what needs to change to get Texas winning again?
Yeah, one of the main reasons I'm here is the hunger of this fan base and the challenge and the opportunity that lies ahead, where we are right now and where we have to be in the near future. And I'm up to the challenge. Being the caretaker of this program, I don't take it lightly, and I'll do everything in my power every day to get this done. I would say in terms of a hunger from the fan base, nobody can match my hunger. I love being around people that have high expectations, and I love challenges, and I love proving people wrong quickly. And so, it starts with that. What has to take place is we got to develop a home court advantage. We've got to get everybody back under the same umbrella of Texas basketball, no matter who you played for and when you played here. Texas basketball family is powerful, second to none when we're united, and we got to get that back. I studied coaches as a kid. A lot of people watch TV and play video games. I studied coaches and winning and chase players. And I think Mac Brown talked about Texas and the power and the BBs. We got to get the BBs back in the box. We got to get it all together. And when it's together and it shoots, nothing can beat it. So I share that. So what has to be done is, again, the twofold plan here. We got to get everybody back together. We have to unite Texas basketball family. When we do that, it's as powerful as any college basketball program in the country. Number two, more importantly, players, players, players. So when we get these things rolling, I think we can be successful. March basketball is all about playing your best basketball in March. To do that, there's a difference in going to the party in the front door with an amazing seed or kind of working your way in the back door. You can win the party no matter what door you go in, but I think you strive all year long to win the conference championship, win the tournament in Kansas City, and to try to get a seed where you're going right in there, where you have a chance, where the bracket might open up for you. Either way, whatever door we go in, we're going to try to win the tournament. 6 games in 3 weeks. It ends on that Monday night. So I think there's a way to win that tournament. We talk about March basketball and winning the national championship from the very first conversation with a recruit to all the way, as we're walking out on the floor on that Monday night. So I do not shy away from the opportunity in March. It's the way college basketball is set up. You're defined a lot. You're judged a lot with what happens in March. And I'm okay with that. Game on. I like March. It's my favorite month of the year. My birthday is in February. Randy's birthday is in August. 8 Michael Jordan is Randy's birthday. Those are fun months to me, but nothing's better than March. I think it's where we're at our best. It's where our players are like, man, let's do this. It's time. And so we've had some success in March, and I'm not apologizing for it. I'm really proud of it, and that will continue here sooner than later.